Guys, this is the border.
I have just arrived one of the most heavily guarded international land border in the world.
Look at the amount of security there. So right behind me is one of the most controversial border in the world.
The U.S. Mexico border.
We will build a great wall along the southern border.
Every day, tens of thousands of people, they risk their lives trying to cross from Mexico into the United States, but not the other way around. See, like they're Mexicans right here. Mexico is good. Mexico, very nice. I come later to eat tacos.
But here is something happening at the border behind the scenes that you will never see online.
I had to get top clearance all in this file to share this story to you about what is happening in the U.S. Mexico border.
We see anywhere from 22 to 25,000 individuals walking across every day.
At this border, it is not just people trying to cross illegally, but criminal organizations and cartels smuggle narcotics and firearms through the sea, land, or with sophisticated tunnels like this one.
Guys, we're inside the tunnel right now. Can I step into Mexico? Please don't.
You can stand right on the line. There's been over 200 illicit tunnels found on the southwest border. Over half have been found here within a quarter-mile area of downtown Nogales.
Guys, I know nothing about geopolitics, all right? So I'm going to be meeting U.S. Custom Border Patrol agents and officers. I'm also going to be meeting officers of field operations and even the Homeland Security Department.
To show you the technology and tactics used by the U.S. Custom and Border Protection agent to intercept people and drugs attempting to enter the United States illegally through the southern border. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. I really appreciate it. My journey starts in Tucson. After a 20-hour flight from Lagos, I arrived Arizona because it is the most dangerous entry point with the highest number of cross-border deaths in the world. I'll be heading straight to the border town of Nogales, just an hour away from Tucson. I'll meet with CBP agents. They'll take me to the border in Nogales.
Welcome. The Nogales station is responsible for 31 linear miles of border.
Do you love your job?
Yes, I do love my job. It's an opportunity to continue to serve my country and the community and protect its residents.
So that is the border, right?
Yes, this is the border. Mexico. So this is Nogales, Arizona.
Yeah.
And just across the fence here is Nogales, Sonora. Where we're approaching right now is the DeConcini port of entry.
On arriving, the first thing I noticed was this huge bollard fence, and I had too many questions in my head.
Guys, that is Mexico right there. This is America, that is Mexico.
You know, we put a lot of our manpower in this area just for that reason. So you will see an agent, they can almost see each other going down the line. So here in the urban areas, we need a lot of presence because the reaction time has to be quicker. In the desert, we can work groups for days, where here we have seconds to minutes before they get into a vehicle and start driving up the freeway, or they get into a vehicle and into a house.
At first glance, it looks like a giant steel wall, but it's actually a carefully engineered security barrier.
Just to be clear, there's no electricity on
No, what you see up there is a sensor. So that sends a signal to our radio room like, hey, there's possibly someone climbing this section of the border fence. There's different technologies that we put out there to inform us something is happening, or we have agents just sitting in a truck watching.
Right there is the pedestrian walkway into Mexico.
As soon as you cross this roundabout, whatever you call it, that's Mexico. People will come over here to shop, right? Or buy their information, buy their things, or do work, or meet friends or family, and then they walk right back to Mexico. Because it's easier than the cars. The cars have a big delay.
There's a pedestrian and also there's the vehicle entrance as well. Just walking there, you're in Mexico. If I need to go to Mexico, that's it.
Right there.
Maybe I can go to Mexico. We try tacos, or maybe not. The nationalities that you see here often, where are they from? Do you see a lot of people from Africa? Do you see a lot from Nigeria? Do you see a lot of people from Nigeria?
So in the past years, we've seen a lot of people from Africa and Nigeria, a lot of those countries. Approximately 85% of the people that we're seeing right now,
Mexicans.
it's more Mexicans.
Wow.
And about 15% of the apprehensions, it's people from other than Mexico, which includes countries from, the Western Hemisphere and the Eastern Hemisphere. which includes Africa. And all of those.
Wow, so they travel all the way to Mexico, try to cross into America.
That's correct.
That should be a very long journey.
It is.
And if you're caught, you're sent back.
We had people from all over the world crossing. I forget the number of countries, but it was over 100 nations, the citizens from around the world.
What do you think is the response time? Let's say someone now is trying to do something here. What do you think is the response time from when you guys actually find out that there's somebody trying to do something fishy?
You know, we have cameras, we have sensors, we have agents watching. So we watch the camera. You know, any one of these camera towers will focus on it, and then they watch them come up and over. They watch them slide down, and then the agents react
immediately. So they don't react while he's still up there. They wait for him to come down.
Sometimes, you know, every agent does it, you know, their own way. What we do not want is for them to run into the brush, run into the canyon, where it's an extended time
to get him.
You know, down here you're going to see an agent here, there, behind us. They're going to be in more frequency.
I learned that in the past, being caught at the border didn't always mean that you're going to be sent back immediately. These undocumented migrants were allowed to stay in the country temporarily while their cases were being reviewed. It is a policy known as catch and release.
In the previous administration, so one of the things that was happening is that when people were being apprehended, they were requesting asylum. We didn't have all the specific, you know, things that we needed to do to process the people fast enough. We didn't have bed space for the people. So basically what was happening is that we were transferring people to ICE, and then ICE or us, we had to release these people once they had a court date into the country.
So when they cross illegally, you hand them over to ICE, or you do it yourself?
Correct.
And then after that arrest, they wait for a court date, but you have to release them temporarily.
Correct.
And then do they show up to the court date?
What I don't have specific numbers, but what I can tell you is for the most part, a lot of people did not show up.
What, 90%, 95% would not show up?
Yeah, I want to say over 80%.
Oh, so that's sort of like a motivation for more people to come in, right?
And that is no longer happening now. So now they're not being released. So their case, it has to be adjudicated before, proved or denied. And if it's denied, then they get deported back to their countries or their safe country.
The simple fact of illegal entry into the U.S. is a misdemeanor crime, punishable by up to a year in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. If you cross again after being arrested and deported, it now becomes a felony, where you can spend over a year in prison and sometimes longer, and those fines increase from there as well.
This is probably the height of a 3-story building, right? Can you imagine like climbing and trying to jump down here?
As of today, the world covers only a fraction of the border. Only 1/3 of the 1,954 miles of the U.S Mexico border is fenced. That is why America relies so much more than these walls to secure its southern border. A system I'll show you in a bit.
Within that border wall system, we have technology, sensors, lighting, cameras embedded into it.
There's different types of camera systems that we use out here in the field. This is the RVSS tower.
With a goal of being able to see everything across the entire southwest border. What we call situational awareness, where we can see everything that may attempt to cross illegally.
What we've started implementing are what's called autonomous surveillance towers. They have an AI-driven computer on board that's able to identify humans and other targets depending on what we tell it to look for. And what it does is 24/7, it just scans and it's always looking, and then once it identifies something as a human or potentially a vehicle, it'll alert agents to that, and then an actual agent will go in and take a look, confirm it, and then start dispatching agents in the field to the threat.
I was taken behind closed doors. I wasn't allowed to film inside the control room. But what I saw felt like stepping inside of an airport control tower dedicated entirely to border security. Rows of officers sat in front of dozens of screens displaying live camera feeds, maps, thermal imagery, and real-time activity from the border. Every movement, every alert, and every response seemed to flow through into this room.
Those camera feeds that you saw in the operations center, this is where they come from. So some of these towers, the further out you get, have radar capability, where there's radar picking up on movement in the desert, and then the camera will go to that radar hit and then identify what's moving, and then agents can respond also that way.
It was here that I began to understand that the fence itself is only one part of the system that is used to stop illegal crossing.
A little bit down here you can see where we have double fencing. So there's a primary fence and a secondary fence, which gives us time to react. So someone will cross the first fence, maybe the camera or sensor picks them up, and then we're able to respond. So here you have visual of the Marines installing the wire.
Oh, right. Is that a door?
Yes. The fence itself is completely on the United States side of the border, and we have to be able to maintain the fence. The door is there because if we need to maintain the other side of the fence, it gives us access.
Yeah.
The actual border is the monuments, the monikers.
Mm-hmm.
That delineates the country, but these are always offset from that. So they're completely in the United States. Now, every year when the rainy season comes, we will open the floodgates, and that allows for the debris and water to freely flow through, because this turns into a river in the summer months. Not a constant river. You know, the elevation is higher in Mexico, so all of that water flow flows north. Well, when you open the gates, what does that create? You have to have now an agent to watch it.
Do you guys see how thin the border is, especially when you go up to the ocean? You literally just have this small barrier, you know, separating Mexico from America.
So this is the area where you can see the actual fence going to the water.
Yeah. Somebody can literally like just swim across and then just come in here. So
exactly.
How are you going to intercept the person right here?
Yeah, so this is what we call the border infrastructure system.
Yeah.
That is composed of the primary, secondary fence. We have stadium-style lighting. We have sensors all over the area. We have cameras. So like the ones that you see here up on top.
Those are huge cameras.
We try to mitigate any illegal entry. So sometimes in this specific area, people try to swim around the fence, the primary fence.
You can literally just swim. But I can see there's a little bit of wave.
It's very dangerous. The currents are strong.
Yeah.
So that's what we always say. It is dangerous to cross illegally into the United States. A lot of people try to swim around. A lot of people, sometimes they use surfboards. A lot of people have tried to use jet skis and even what we call the panga boats, which is, you know, fishing style panga boats. Here to our south, that's the primary fence, and all of those condominiums that's a new building. That's Mexico already. Now we're in between the fences. Again, primary, it's 18 to 20 feet high. Secondary, it's about 30 feet high, and basically it's a visual deterrent. When they see the fence, they like, okay, this is too difficult for me to just jump.
I look at this wall, you know, even driving here, and it is huge, it is gigantic. I only wonder how much it costs to build this. Do you have any idea how much it costs?
I don't have those specific numbers.
I wasn't able to get the specific cost of the total fence project because it was built in different phases by different administration. But I found this publication on BBC, and it stated that it was originally estimated that this cross-border wall could cost anything from $12 billion to $40 billion.
Welcome to sunny California. Welcome, baby. I am right now in San Diego.
I have just arrived San Diego, and I want to show you something different.
Alright, we are here at the U.S. Coast Guard office. They call them Guardians of the Coast.
I'll join the CBP Air and Marine Operation Unit for a live demonstration showing how they intercept illegal crossing and narcotics trafficking at sea.
So we're going to get 3 boats underway today. You're going to get on these boats and you're going to go down to what we call South Bay. You're going to go underneath the Coronado Bridge. You'll see it when you get further south.
Alright guys, so what they're going to do for us right now is they're going to do like a simulation.
We're going to do what's called a pursuit demo. So we're going to show you if we get in a pursuit chase with illicit smuggler or somebody trying to evade law enforcement, they're going to demo what that looks like on the water.
I mean, I don't know so much about boats, but they told us these boats are really fast and they can do really crazy maneuvers.
Because this is so fast, agile, and maneuverable, you have to be harnessed in, kind of like a race car seat, because it moves so fast.
Alright, so I hear helicopters. I know where they are.
These boats have supernatural capabilities. They are super fast. It feels like an airplane that is about to take off.
Guys, we are being chased right now.
The process begins with locating and identifying suspicious vessel, followed by warnings and instructions to stop. If the vessels refuse to comply, agents can escalate their response and use specialized techniques to safely disable the ability for the vessel to continue.
Oh my god! Guys, do you see that? So what they actually do is they try to aim for the engine, okay? So if you're going too fast and you're not trying to stop, they're going to hit your engine and that would force your boat to stop. And that's how you're going to get caught.
Sir, place your hands on top of your head, face away from me.
Sir, keep your hands on your head.
Forward.
Sir, interlock your fingers.
Good, right.
Alright guys, that's how it's done.
That's done.
Yeah. And boom, you're caught.
Awesome.
You're caught immediately.
So the first shots, they were like across the bow to basically say, hey, stop.
And visual warning for the vessel to stop before we move to the next steps.
But we're going so quickly, is there not a chance that it might hit somebody on the boat?
There's always a possibility in regards to that, but we've been trained and we have like specific distances and techniques, and all these guys are professionals in regards to handling weapons. Wherever they want to put that round, that's where the round is going to go.
Okay, so they do the warning shots, and then if that doesn't work, they hit the motor.
Yeah, correct. We move into another step, which we try to stop them using like different methods in regards to like pepper balls or trying to cut off the fuel. And then we have a couple other steps before we go into actually disabling the engines.
Thing that they were doing when they were aimed towards the engines, normally you'd be shooting like the helm area or the operator of the vessel, but since we don't want to
0982 on
hit
forward
with it, that's why they were aiming back there at the Oscar on there, but normally that would be at the person operating the vessel.
What's the fastest boat you've seen the cartels use to try to smuggle humans into America?
Typically we see a lot of jet skis here, which are have been modified in regards to going at very high excess of speeds, over 60 knots, 60 miles per hour. They're a criminal organization just like everything else. They have plenty of resources. Most of the time they use just regular boats, and they try to blend in with the local traffic that is coming in either to San Diego or heading up north as well.
But before coming here, I assumed most of the work was to stop illegal crossing, but I quickly learned that that is only one part of the job. There are times where these agents would switch from enforcement to rescue, helping people who are lost, injured or stranded.
Behind me is an aircraft used to do rescue, search and rescue mission by the Coast Guard.
The helicopter you're looking at here is a MH-60 Tango Sikorsky helicopter. We call it the Jayhawk. Has a range of about 400 to 500 nautical miles, so we can go about 200 miles, pick people off of a boat out of the water, and then return back to San Diego. In terms of the law enforcement and border mission, you can see underneath the helicopter there's a black ball, looks about the size of a small soccer ball. That's an infrared and visual camera that we can use both for law enforcement and search and rescue cases to find vessels or people in the water.
Just to be clear, this doesn't have any like guns or stuff like that, no?
No, this helicopter can be configured to an armed version,
Yeah.
but in San Diego it's not armed.
So what incidents have you experienced that really tested the capacity of this aircraft?
So in terms of capacity, so the number of people, a hurricane is a common where there's just a lot of people that have to be evacuated from a hurricane, and a lot of people can fit back here. Here in San Diego, about a year ago, some of the migrant smuggling attempts can turn into a search and rescue situation. One of those, it was a Ponga style boat with 12 people on board. They got into some big seas and bad weather. Basically their engine failed and it became a distress situation. So the helicopter flew out and actually hoisted all those people off. They did 8 at a time, so it was 16 total. They did 8 people, came back. Our rescue swimmer actually stayed in the water with all the people, and then the helicopter came back and brought everybody back.
Like most people look at the Coast Guard and you think, oh, their job is only to go and catch people trying to smuggle aliens or like narcotics or stuff like that. But these guys are actually here like to rescue people, because when you think about it, like the chances of you dying in the sea is really high. I'm getting to learn their core responsibility is actually safety.
At this point, one thing became clear. Illegal migration isn't about people crossing into a country unlawfully. It is a big business opportunity for the cartels. Behind many illegal crossing are highly organized criminal network that makes millions of dollars moving people and narcotics across international borders, like the Sinaloa cartel.
When you look at the cartels who are actually responsible for doing this, they proactively recruit on social media, on TikTok. They are trying to recruit people to be smuggled into the country.
They advertise routes into the United States, promising to help migrants reach their destination for a fee.
Billions of dollars a year they would make off of this human smuggling process. $10,000 each. That is the average going rate. Sometimes it's $7,000. Sometimes in the ocean we're seeing up to $20,000. If they go through a port of entry, maybe hidden in the trunk of a vehicle, they charge a different fee for that. But on average, it's about $10,000 each person.
But guys, we have to get something clear. Now, it's not just people that are trying to illegally cross this border. It's also narcotics and weapons that is being transported.
So I visited the Homeland Security Department to learn how they operate.
Hello, nice to meet you, sir.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What is the role of the Homeland Security Investigation Department?
We are the principal investigative arm of the Department of Homeland Security. So our mission is to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle transnational criminal organizations here in the United States and abroad.
Not only do people cross illegally, but also the cartels use different ways and means to bring their illicit merchandise, like drugs, across into the U.S. And one of the methods that they use is tunneling activity.
Please watch your step.
We're going into a tunnel right now. Guys, we're inside a tunnel right now. We got agent on there, we got one, and we have another one. So usually you'd have this agent patrol this tunnel almost every day with this light, just trying to look for illegal migrants here. Wow, it's so dark in here.
So this is the international border underground. On that side of the yellow lines is Mexico, and on this side is the United States.
Oh, okay, you have a line, the yellow one.
Yes, this is the international boundary right here.
Oh, I see.
International boundary, this yellow line right here. So that's Mexico.
So if I cross here now, I'm in Mexico?
Yes.
Come back here, I'm in America.
Yes.
Can I step into Mexico?
No.
I can't step into Mexico.
Please don't. You can stand right on the line.
Well, okay. Where's the line? Okay, it's right here. My shadow is in Mexico, and I'm in America. Okay.
This is about 25 feet wide, 12 feet high, and then we go from diameters of 18 inches to 24 inches to 36-inch different kind of drainage pipes, all feed into these main two drainage systems that we control on a daily basis.
Because people on the other side are digging through these tunnels, the Decancini port is sinking because they're basically taking out land underneath the port. And so it's going down and needs to be refixed.
There's been over 200 illicit tunnels found on the southwest border. Over half have been found here within a quarter-mile area of downtown Nogales. So it's something that we see frequently. We had one just about 3 or 4 weeks ago that was discovered.
Many tunnels begin inside warehouses, homes, or commercial buildings in Mexico and extend beneath the border into the United States. As a matter of fact, while making this video, I saw a recent illegal tunnel bust on the news.
After a 6-month investigation, the Homeland Security Task Force says they discovered the exit point of the drug tunnel inside a Buy for Less storefront near the Otay Mesa port of entry and seized 2,064 pounds of cocaine worth about $45 million. Agents say the cross-border tunnel is about 1,933 feet long, 55 feet deep, and 4.5 feet in height, with reinforced walls, rail, and ventilation systems and electricity. Last Friday, May 29th, agents arrested 4 men as they tried to make the first delivery of drugs from the tunnel.
No, these are very expensive to build. This one, for example, was an example of the sewer pipe that they were smuggling through. What happened here was they tapped into the pipe through a house downtown. There was a blockage, and all the sewage came up through the house, into the street. Public Works, went to see what was going on and found out it was a smuggling event, and they called us. So we send agents down into the tunnels, man-made tunnel system once a shift to make sure that there's no breaches. We also do joint patrols with the Mexican federales, where we will check the infrastructure from the Mexican side.
Something interesting happens here at this checkpoint.
Alright guys, so we're at an area called the I-19 checkpoint.
The search for illegal migrants and drugs doesn't end at the border. It continues in the interior of the US.
They're looking out for like illegal migrants that are hiding under the car or in the trunk, They're also looking for drugs as well.
I met with the K9 unit, a train detection dog I learned that can identify narcotics hidden in places that would be almost impossible for the human eye to spot.
Our K9 program is comprised of detection only, and that means that our canines are trained to sniff out certain trained odors, and for example, narcotics, concealed humans, currency, firearms, ammunition. Is on this vehicle right here, there's 50 grams of cocaine that has been placed in the vehicle. It's live narcotics. The canine is going to perform a systematic search of that vehicle, and once the canine alerts, you'll see the dog become more frantic in behavior, and that's what we call the canine alert. That canine will display animated posture, increased respiration. You'll see the tail wagging, and the dog will just become more physically active. Once that dog has reached the strongest concentration of odor available, the dog will then go into a passive indication. and you'll see that dog either go into a down, a sit, or point. Once that dog has performed the actions or the behavior that we're looking for, the canine handler will come in and reward the canine with a toy, right? And that toy will keep that dog motivated and happy. You're going to see a lot of excitement, a lot of play, a lot of verbal, physical love from that animal, and that's the dog's paycheck right there.
After spending days at the border, meeting agents and officers of field operation, seeing the technology and learning how smuggling networks operate, one question kept coming back to me. Why would someone risk everything to get into America illegally?
I do not want this to sound like bragging by any means whatsoever. The way that you can measure a country is by how many want in and how many want out. And when you look at that for the United States, there is a huge desire from all over the world to come here. It is the land of opportunity. There is so much potential for someone to come here, make a living for themselves from nothing, and build quite a good life for yourself.
You should have seen the documentary we did about some of Africa's most successful immigrants in America. They left homes poor but were able to build wealth in America.
Our move to come to the United States was for greener pasture.
When my father died, I told my mom, you know what? I want to go to America because of how hard life used to be in Cameroon. I will do every little things that a young girl that is struggling could do to make money.
Many of these people attempting the journey are not crossing because they enjoy taking risk. They're crossing because they believe the opportunity waiting on the other side is worth the risk.
So something that we want to let the people know is that now more than ever, the border it's more secure than ever it's ever been. We want to discourage people from taking that very risky journey of coming illegally into the U.S. There are legal ways, and we tell the people to use the legal ways.
Some of the times people are running away from more severe circumstances, right? Danger for their lives, economic situations. Most of these immigrants are willing to go the extra mile just to, get to a country that they know would offer them better opportunities. I feel that that's the reason why most people wouldn't mind. If you tell them, look, if you cross the sea, the ocean, you're going to die. If you try to go through the canyons and the mountains, you're going to die. But they're like, yeah, my country, I'm already dying here, so I might as well just...
And we understand there's different reasons.
Yeah.
We just want them to know that there is actual legal avenues and to use them.
Well, I want to believe that you've heard so many stories, because the people trying to cross illegally would probably have stories why they're crossing. I know you hear that every now and then.
For any number of reasons. There's the right way of doing things and the wrong way, and we highly encourage people to go the legal route. I come from an immigrant family. My parents did it the right way, and the rest of my family did it the right way.
And now you're working for the U.S.
Yeah, this is my home. They chose to immigrate here and raise families here, but they did it the right way.
Where were you born?
California.
California. And your father?
My parents are Filipino.
On the flip side, the United States needs people and goods from Mexico because the US relies heavily on trade with Mexico. The two countries are deeply connected. Millions of people on both sides have family members across the border. Many of the fruits, vegetables, and agricultural products that end up in American homes and supermarkets are from Mexico. And nowhere is that more obvious than the San Isidro port of entry, one of the busiest international land border crossing in the world.
And just looking at the number of vehicles that are just coming in is just unbelievable. So what's the size of traffic that you see coming into America from this port?
Here at San Isidro Port of Entry, it is the busiest port of entry in the world, with roughly 45,000 passenger vehicles crossing every single day, about 22 to 25,000 pedestrians crossing every day.
Wow.
So in total, about 100,000 travelers enter the United States here at the San Isidro Port of Entry.
That's so much traffic.
Yes.
How many officers do you have on ground every day to cater for that traffic?
A lot. We have hundreds and hundreds of officers that actually work in different locations.
I also got to learn there are like different kind of procedures you would have to go through leading up until when you're being interrogated by the officer right here. Just like when you approach the border at the airport, you ask normal questions like, what are you doing in America? Like, are you a citizen, or where are you from? Like, you have documents to show.
Standing here, I began to understand the challenge facing the border officials, because their job isn't to stop movement, but to keep the border open for millions of legitimate travelers and billions of dollars in trade, while at the same time preventing illegal crossing, human trafficking, and smuggling of narcotics. Finding that balance may be one of the hardest jobs in America. So shout out to the 69,000 plus men and women of the CBP that protects America's 338 total points of entry and 1,950 miles miles of the U.S Mexico border. Special thanks to the U.S Foreign Press Center and the U.S Consulate General in Lagos for equipping me with what I needed to tell the story. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.